Well, hello again. A lot of good responses to the last video, which was wonderful. I want to cover a couple of items that folks commented on. I told them I would before we get cranked up on this video. Paulie, he's been with me for quite a while. He wants to see another cooking video. I told him I'd try to get around to it. Johnny, who lives in Southern California, I assume, as he calls himself Johnny SoCal, he commented last time on this Thunderbird, whereas instead of a Landau sort of S-shaped thing on here, and the reason being is that this he was thinking in the video I did that this was a vinyl top. It's not. It's metal. With Stephen Moore. Oh, Stephen Moore. He said I kissed wifey with old kimchi on my breath. Hey, buddy, we don't eat old kimchi. We eat new kimchi, and I'll tell you why. About 20 miles from here is the town of Jacksonville, and there's a Asian shop over there run by Koreans, and the kimchi we get, or I get, is made by a Korean mama-san. They make it fresh and they sell it there. And my grandson's wife, Tanya, you've seen her in my videos if you've been around. She stops and picks me up a container of it whenever I call her up. I say, hey, look, I'm in pain, I'm hurting. She'll say, what's the matter? I say, I got no kimchi. She'll say, ooh, I'll be over there this Saturday, we'll bring you some. And she does. She's a great kid. Anyway, so, and I'm going to tell you something flat out. If kimchi's not made by a Korean mama-san, it is not kimchi. I don't care what they say. I've lived in Korea. I know what can be done. I know what's supposed to be done. Guys cannot make kimchi. Now on with the show. Now I'm getting ready to put this black cover over the top of this. Oh, I'll tell you what, this Wimbledon white turned out so nice. I'm going to be using these things here. They're speed nut things. I can't remember what they're called. I never pay much attention to that kind of stuff. I just know it's what I want. And you have to use the long ones for these holes that are farther away from the square. As you can see, it reaches, okay? I don't think the shorter ones will, but I got shorter ones for use down below. Yeah, see, the shorter ones won't reach. They don't make it all the way to the hole. So down here, they work great because they make it all the way, okay? Now this is a brace that comes across and fastens to the front of the grill. I'll show you that at a later date. One other thing we're going to wrestle a little bit with today is the RPMs on the engine still high. And I'm going to keep farting around with these dash pots. Now you'll notice that when I put this one here sticks out further than that one. However, when I compress it, you'll notice they're the same length. I think if I grind this one down a little bit further, it'll allow the throttle to go a little bit further. I hope. I'm going to keep messing with them until I get them. Either this one's going to work or this one's going to work. Something's going to give. Alright, I shortened it up quite a bit again. Any length that I can't really go too far unless I go way down into here somewhere. I can take it down because if I go a little bit too far, the curb idle screw will bring the throttle rod back. So not a big problem as long as I don't go, whole hog. Now right now you can see the difference in length. Now let's go ahead and bring this one down. Now you can see it's still above the one on the left. So I think that let's hope that solves the problem. Before I can put this black plate on here and fasten it down with screws, or bolts rather, there is a problem that I do not like. It's a design problem. This is your condenser right here, and the brackets for it are on each side. Now this, as you can see, there's nothing between here and the radiator support on the top, or the radiator side, I guess. And you're supposed to run your bolt down through, and then the bolt is just supposed to hold it in place. No bushing, no nothing. I don't like that. So when I tighten down the bolt, I could actually wind up bending these things right here. They would bend down too far if I over tightened it. Stupid design, and we are going to fix that. Now here's my brilliant idea for doing so. These are heavy steel bushings made out of zinc. Heavy steel bushing zinc. Don't ask me, steel and zinc. That's what it says on the package. Well, they come 2 in a pack, and they were perfect for what I needed. I got them at my local hardware store. I glued the first 2 together with super glue, so they're easier to handle. I don't have to try to keep track of one while the other one's moving. and I'm going to go ahead and paint it black. And then we're going to take these rubber washers and put on top like that. This is the exact distance I need to make me happy. See there? Perfect. So when I clamp it down there, now it's got something to go against. And I put rubber on there just because I feel like doing it. That's all. A little bit of overkill, but I do not care. We'll have them on both sides, but I'm going to paint them black right now, and we'll get to this tomorrow after the paint's dried. Well, as usual, before you put any paint on bare metal, you should always prime it. Now this is that self-etching primer again. It doesn't take a whole lot. You know, just get it on there. Alright, the spacers now are painted and ready to go. I've got one in already. I'm just going to go ahead and put the other one in just like that. And that keeps it up the way I want it. Let's go ahead and get the plate on. By the way, the original nut plate they had down in there, it had a thing, it went down in the hole underneath this thing right here. We'll say that this hole here is that one over there. It goes down in and then it curls around this way at the bottom. You still have the same type of screw thing coming up, you know, lining up with the hole here, but the part you can't see goes around and comes around this way. And the reason that does that is when the screw goes down through, this is the radiator, the side of the radiator down in there. And if you screw it too far, you'd punch a hole right through the radiator. So they built that one so it would have a piece of that nut. The extruded thing, they call them nut plates, extruded, they have it so it goes around like this. So if you do go through, it hits this part right here and stops. It doesn't punch a hole through the radiator. Unfortunately, mine was so rusted they had to come out, so I had to come up with a different idea. But I didn't want to punch a hole down through there. I checked with Nick from Vintage Thunderbird Repair on all this, and I noticed that these were different. You know, the ones on it here were smaller bolts, smaller diameter bolts, and a different kind of nut. He calls them nut plates, a different kind of nut plate. And I didn't know what that was all about. It's just a different shape is all. Well, once he explained to me that it's to keep the screw from going down through and punching into the radiator, it made perfect sense. Yeah, it would have to have a piece on the bottom that curled in and was flat. The last thing I did was I glued those rubber flat washers to here, so they're not going to go anywhere. So when I turn it over and put it down, they don't, you know, dump over and fall. So let's see if we can't get this thing on finally. These two corner bolts are pulling the metal down that way and bending it down because there's quite a bit of gap between the brace here on the side of the radiator. It's like that on both ends. So what I've decided to do, now this brace comes up and then it goes in like that and then the bolt goes down through it. So I went downtown and I picked up a couple more of these spacers. I got them painted. I'm just going to slip it right up underneath there and that should solve the problem. Well, the spacers did the trick, nice and flat, and I like that. I torqued it right on down, both sides. Got a little bit of nick right here. I'm going to have to touch that up right there. Alright, tomorrow we'll go ahead and start the car up and see if we can't get some decent RPMs now after we've chopped off a little bit more of that dashpot. Well, the fast idle is low by about 500 RPMs. I'm more concerned with the curb idle. We'll let it warm up and see what happens. Well, even the curb idle is high. I'm getting no difference between fast idle and curb idle. Well, that's a little better. It's supposed to be 750 and that's just about what we got. What I did was I had to raise the throttle and pull it back hard and then it went into a lower RPM. Don't ask me, but I'll tell you what. I think I have a cure for this once and for all.
Tuama kokopiko talani pakali he hamdi aosu jakana katachila pakali hamdi osu
Until next time, this is John.